Howdy everybody, and welcome to another video brought to you by me, Jack, VintageElectronicsGeek.com here, saying howdy y'all. In a recent video I made mention that I had purchased this TV over the course of September, October, and stated that the TV works just fine, which it does. The issue with the TV is the DVD player does not work. When I try to put a disc in, it does not accept one, and when I try to eject what may be in there, it does not eject. It almost feels like there is a disc stuck inside. I don't know if there really is one, or maybe there's an issue with the belt, the mechanics, or something like that. Maybe there's a shark in there. I don't know. So in today's video, what we're going to do is, at a minimum, we're going to open this up, take a look around, put it back together. At a maximum, we're going to try to repair that DVD player. Now, in my earlier video, I made mention that I really don't care if the DVD player on this works, and I really don't, as I do have a standalone DVD player in my office here, and it's kind of a moot point. But I did want to open it up. I did want to take a peek inside and check the screws on the board, make sure that they are secure, the grounding screws, and they're not loose and going to cause problems at a later date and time. Also, we're going to take a peek, if available, at the circuit side to see if there's anything bulging or leaking. I'm not going to, I don't have any grand plans of stripping this completely down to the bare minimum just for an inspection. But who knows if it happens that way. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into this. This being a bigger TV, this is a 19-inch TV with a digital and standard tuner. So it's really impressive that it has that, as well as all the junk that it has on the side, all the ports and everything. And to me, that's what excited me about acquiring this TV, buying this TV, was that it did have these ports. And it's something that I was looking for in a TV, so I could plug in all my vintage gear without necessarily going through my network. And as I started to say, since this is a bigger TV, there is a good probability that I will get in your way. I have a small workbench, and so I have to really look at priorities. I think it's a little bit more important for me to get in and do what I need than to have you see the back of my head or elbows or something like that. So if it gets to a point where I'm working and you can't see it in post, I'll just cut in and try to do my best to show you exactly what it is I've done or I'm trying to accomplish. I have the TV plugged into my isolation transformer, and I have the TV powered on. We're going to try to put a disc in so you could see what happens. And you could hear that something's trying, but it's also like it's hitting something. So without completely destroying the disc, I'll stop. And if I try hitting, oh, well, that kind of worked, didn't it? Well, something's happening there, so maybe we just get lucky and there's a issue with the belt, or something's loose in there, and it's a quick and easy fix. That's what I'm hoping for, right? Those are always the best, a quick and easy fix. So let's go ahead and get started. Like a lot of monitors, you would just rip the two halves in the two shells in half, and that's how you open it. Luckily, this one here is actually ported with a plethora of screws on the case, and so that's going to be really cool. One thing this TV does have, or maybe I should say doesn't have, is it's missing two screws here on the bottom, which makes this pedestal wobbly. Not sure where the other two are, so I'm going to take this off and that way it's easier to work on the bench. And when I put it back on, I'm just going to stagger these screws. That way it's somewhat more secure than what it really is right now. Alright, finally got it all apart. Let's see if I can swing this around where you can see it better. And as my suspicions were, we do have a disc stuck inside. So let's see what we could do to get that out. Okay, I moved the camera a little closer, different angle. Hopefully you could see down here a lot better. So we're going to go ahead and plug this in. Let's see where my switches were on the faceplate. So I do believe this is the eject. And you can hear it's trying to do something. Let's put a disc in. Okay, so it's trying to do something. We just got that disc in there stuck. I just killed power to it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually take this assembly apart. So I wonder what kind of new test disc do I now have. That's how you collect them, right? Well, I guess I should have removed this bracket. Doing a quick scan of the board of the capacitors that are visible, I'm not seeing anything that jumps up out at me that immediately needs attention, but that don't mean anything. So what I've done so far was I've removed the ribbon cables and freed the mechanism up. Not seeing a belt. All I'm seeing are gears. So let me move the TV out of the way. It would be fantastic to have a really big workbench. It's hard to tell if the gear is engaged, and it's not, because this should collapse to spin the disc, and it's not happening. But what I can see is the disc is broken. Right here, it's broken. So is that binding and causing it not to eject? That's the $8.57 question. I think if I can keep the door collapsed and take a screwdriver, the back side, move my light out of the way so you could see, I might be able to walk this forward. Yep. And there we go. And that, my friends, is what was stuck in the disc, in the player. You can see fractured here and here. So I'm thinking maybe when it broke, it has too much of a give for it to have come through the mechanism. Or it was just too big for the input-output port of the player is what could have happened. I don't know. Hey, I'm open to any suggestions of what could have happened. So with that said, let me give this a quick once-over. Alright, so I think I'm pretty happy and satisfied with how this turned out. We're going to bring the TV back up here. We'll give it a once-over, a little bit more than what I did, and we'll reassemble it. So what we're doing now is we're just going to look at the capacitors. And they all look pretty good. Power supply, filter cap. The capacitors all look pretty good. I don't see any in here that is for, has any concerns. So, will not trip and drip. Next thing I want to do is just go through and check the ground screws on the boards. Sometime with wear and tear, or just at the factory, they come loose and can cause problems with the TV. Get all kinds of odd stuff happening with your TV, parts blowing up, functions, features not working adequately or at all. So that one was a little loose, nothing major, but enough to notice. And that one. That one. And that one. And that one. So all of those that appeared to be a little loose was only loose by about a half a turn. Nothing too major, but definitely could have been an issue down the road. Okay, looks good. I'm not seeing any hot components. Capacitors look good. Right up in here, though, if I had to guess, not sure if it's from the shadows or if we really do have heat on that board. Let's reassemble this and see if we fixed the problem. Alright, so we got those screws in. We need to mount this. So next thing I need to do is just simply plug these cables into their corresponding slot. Alright, I'm accepting wagers. We're going to plug this in, turn it on, and see what happens. Who wants to wager that this is going to work or not? So I got it plugged in. I'm just turning on the power, and as you can see, it's on. Let's take my disc, put it in, and see what happens. I'm going to say this thing might have mechanical problems, but it's working. It's spinning. Could have just been in a bind. And as you see, it's working. Yes, for those that are curious, it is the Bee Gees. Alright, so let's see if we can get it to eject. I just hit the button. The mechanic stopped. It's trying. It's probably can't see it in my lighting, but it's right there. It's trying, but I think this might have some mechanical issues. Could also bent, all goofed up, you know, in trying to retrieve. Well, I'm getting all kinds of colors. Okay. So apparently that's standby, not eject. Where's eject? Oh, hey look, it ejected. Okay, so apparently I don't know what I'm doing. Let's try this again, shall we? And you really got to shove that thing in there deep. Let me power it off, bring it back up. Could not kill it at the switch, so maybe I got into some kind of service menu. Or maybe not. Alright, it's auto playing, or at least it's spinning up. I just hit the play button. So it works. I apparently don't know what I'm doing. So finally got it to stop, and it just ejected. You really have to put that disc all the way in there deep. Alright, so let me, now that I can see the controls, let me go ahead and hit stop. And eject. And that worked. But, alright, so I still have these flashing colors. Is there anything I could do? Can I go into setup? No. I can hit the standby button. So I guess that's some kind of odd standby that the TV goes into. So let's see if I can change the channel. Oh, that's the volume. Yes, I can. Okay, I'm not going to sit here forever and a day. This video's gone on too long. I set in to retrieve the DVD, as I suspected there was one, and there was. I don't have any intention on using the DVD player. Okay, that'll do it for me. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and we will catch you in the next video.